Did you all hear TBI director David Rausch and what he said about the latest search? I was watching this clip last night, and when I was watching it, I just assumed, as I was watching it, I was like, oh, this must be one of the first searches. This can't be the latest one. Went back. It was from a news channel in Knoxville. This is legit. This happened only on Tuesday. He was speaking at a Judiciary committee. This is the TBI director speaking about the latest search.
Typically when we use this asset, we're either hunting for a missing child, a missing adult, or a fugitive. And so what it'll do, it will allow those on the ground to actually be able to see what the airplane sees.
He's talking about thermal imaging. He's not talking about looking for bones. He's talking about looking for a live body, a missing person, a missing child, a fugitive. Listen to it again, because I think a lot of people missed it.
Typically when we use this asset, we're either hunting for a missing child, a missing adult, or a fugitive. And so what it'll do, it will allow those on the ground to actually be able to see what the airplane sees.
Why are they looking for someone alive so close to her home 9 months after she went missing? I just assumed they were looking for bones, not a live body heat. What's this about? Why would there be a live body so close to the home so long after she went missing? Do they really think Summer is alive and just camping out there or something? Do they think someone is keeping her out there? Do they think Candace was keeping her away from Dawn? I'm confused. I'm confused by this, to be honest. Is it something to do with tips being called in because Candace was seen last week in a hotel room with a child? Is that what this is? Are they just following up on that? This isn't a search for bones. This is thermal imaging. This is body heat. Body heat means a live body. Here's another clip of him talking and speaking about Summer at that committee. This time he's asked a question, not about Summer, he's asked a question about the drones and the drones used. And he talks about that, and he talks about how it's able to identify items of clothing by colour and lock in on that target. But remember, and he talks about it here, this is thermal imaging, this is body heat.
Does TBI use drone technology at all? So can you just describe a little bit about the situations where you would use a drone?
Yeah,
and how many drones do you have? How are they maintained? Something that has to be purchased again on a regular basis, and that a line item in your budget?
Sure. Thank you, Chairman. Yes, we do have drones. We use them for a variety of things. We just actually had them up this week over in East Tennessee, assisting us in searching for Summer Wells, the missing child that's been missing for a while over there in the mountain. The technology on them is amazing. We just purchased these new drones.
Yep, thermal imaging on them as well.
They do, as well as they have the capability as well to recognize specific colors. If when you can you can enter the information that you're looking for, and they'll recognize it. And so we knew what color clothing the child was wearing, and so we put that in. And so it's the technology is there and does a great job. So that's one use of it. We also have used them for our fire investigative unit. So they'll send them up to map a fire scene, which will help them to kind of see, again, looking at the heat signatures of fire will help them determine where they need to go to see where the origination of a fire is, and to determine if it was intentionally set through the rest of their investigative tactics. But that's a game changer for us to be able to have something from the sky, map that scene, find that heat source, and be able to help them go directly to where they need to be to start their investigative effort. And so that's a utilization of it.
What do people think is going on here? Is this just following up on tips or something else? Was this just a small part of the search that he's maybe overemphasizing here? But it seems clear from the first audio that I played that was a pointed question about the search, and that's what he said. I'm not one for conspiracy theories, and he does say typically used for body heat. Maybe this means this is the other type of situation where that is used, or that is the case. But I don't know. It sounds to me like they were looking for body heat. Or is this something got to do with the child that was in the background of Candace's video? Even if they don't think that's Summer or that was the child, if someone is watching that clip or watching some content on it and they're caught up in the case and they think Candace is hiding Summer, they're convinced, and maybe that person embellishes a story a little bit, or not a story, a tip, and they call it into the TBI. Like, will the TBI follow up on that? They probably will. They probably have to. Is this what they mean when they give out about YouTube and social media? It mightn't necessarily be the content, but it's the tips that the content generates. It's the tips that cause the problems because they have to follow up and put the manpower into it. I want to play one more clip. This is from 8-9 days after Summer went missing. It's Leslie Earhart in the TBI giving a press conference. Her guard is down here is small, but she's exhausted by the looks of it. She's asked her at the start about hope, and does she hope to find Summer alive? Look at what she does with her head. Her mouth says one thing, but what does her head say? And the second thing, look at how she talks about the investigation and how confused and how basically she doesn't have a clue what's going on. She doesn't have a clue what led to the disappearance of Summer, and it's so out of the norm.
Search and investigation. Do you believe Summer Wells is still alive?
We hope so, but honestly, we just don't know. I mean, we're holding out hope, doing everything we can. Obviously, we typically would have found a child at this stage in the investigation, so honestly, we just don't know. The circumstances leading to Summer's disappearance remain unclear. We're still trying to find Summer. It's now been 1 week and 2 days since she went missing. Here's what we can tell you. Numerous residents and individuals associated with the family have been interviewed. Surveillance video and photos have been reviewed, as well as other potential digital evidence. We're still working to identify everyone in the area on the afternoon that Summer went missing. One of you asked us in a previous briefing the standard amount of time it takes for a case like this to be resolved. While every case is different, this one is definitely outside of the norm. Typically, in an investigation like this one, we have some idea of where the case is headed and what might have happened within a few days. In this situation, despite doing everything within our power and exploring all avenues, the circumstances leading to Summer's disappearance remain unclear.
I think a lot can be taken from those interviews that the TBI did around that time. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think is going on. Every time you seem to be going down one area in this case, you just get dragged into another. Good luck, God bless, have a good day.